LAN that's taking place in later February, if I'm not mistaken, in Shanghai. Looking forward to that, but we got to get through the qualifiers first, and we are in for a great set of series here today. First things first, I am Breaky CPK, going to be casting here. I'm joined by my co-caster, Tsunami. Tsunami, how's it going, man?
Oh, it's a pleasure to be here. It's a pleasure to watch teams that I haven't actually seen in a while, namely players that I haven't seen in a while. I'm really excited to see ROTK and Fenrir go to work on Team VGJ.
I cannot agree with you more. So myself, I'm not the most familiar with the Chinese scene, but I will say, you look at VGJ roster, those are names that I know, and I know that this was a team that was formed as of recently, from my understanding. And the greatest thing about it, that I love about it, is that if I'm not mistaken, I believe this is the organization founded, or not the whole organization, but the team founded by Jeremy Lin, who's an NBA basketball player here in the States. So I believe that's what the J stands for, actually. At least according to Liquipedia. Good old Liquipedia coming through right here.
I trust that. I'd trust that with my life.
Do you know who Jeremy Lin is, by the way?
I'm familiar, but only because of how much Dota exposure he's been given, seeing as how he was showing up at TIs and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I am from Houston, and he was briefly on the Rockets, so I kind of have to know.
There you go. Yeah, he's been around several teams, to say the least, but he is definitely a solid player. But it is always cool to see talent like that, invested in such a scene that we all love here. So that's what I know about them. And then you got CDEC on the other side, obviously another organization that's been around for a long time with also players that definitely should know. So these two teams, again, this is it. There is actually another set of series, like I said, coming after this one, but the winner of this is going to the LAN. So, I don't know how familiar you are with the Chinese scene, but would you say you're surprised by these results, or is this kind of expected, do you think?
It kind of depends on how often these teams have been choosing to go to tournaments, because I've actually been casting a handful of Chinese tournaments, but this is the first time that I've seen VGJ actually play. I've seen CDEC reach, I guess, quarters and semis a few times, so this is the first time I've seen them reach finals, but this is the first time that I've seen VGJ, period.
Okay. Yeah, so this should be fun, though. It's going to be a thing of new for us, as well as people out there, perhaps even. But on top of that, obviously, with the new patch even coming out, there's a lot of new Dota going on here with the great New Year's that I'm sure hopefully you guys are having. So, okay, enough of the rambling. Let's talk about what we're actually seeing right here, though, as far as the draft goes. We have a Sand King Dazzle coming out for VGJ. We have a Rubik and an Ursa on the side of CDEC. So, what are your thoughts so far here, Tsunami?
So I was told that apparently Rubik is a very famous counterpick for Sand King. I imagine it's specifically in the Chinese region, and so much so that whenever teams get two picks back-to-back, they will often pick Sand King with the Rubik just to prevent the counterpick. Personally, I don't really see Rubik as that great a counterpick. I mean, sure, late game, Rubik can steal Burrow Strike, and that's a great spell all game long. But early game, if Rubik steals Burrow Strike, outside of, gank situations, Rubik doesn't really want to be jumping into fights. And so the other thing I hear is that Telekinesis can counter Sandstorm. I don't know. I can't even pretend to understand the Chinese meta, but I can definitely understand these two picks.
Yeah.
The thing that I am not surprised by is the Underlord ban first by VGJ, because apparently CDEC are Underlord specialists.
He's been an interesting hero, right, with this patch. He's kind of been in a lot of people's ban list, top-tier ban list even, I feel like. In a little bit, at least, that's happened. Obviously, we're still just kind of fresh in this patch when you overall think about it and all the changes. But it does feel like a lot is in agreement that, yeah, Underlord is one that you probably don't want to have to play against if you have the choice. So, yeah, not surprised to see that ban here. Necessarily coming out. But a real quick note on Rubik, actually, and it's kind of going off of this from history myself, watching the Chinese scene, every once in a while. I feel like Rubik is pretty popular in general over there, especially. And sure enough, looking at good old Dota buff, he is the second picked hero in this specific tournament right here. So, see it once again from CDEC. Busting out the stats here. Luna coming out as the third pick. A good carry choice?
Yeah, typically she's not so much as reliant on the Shadow Demon combo, which was banned out first by CDEC. I don't really think she's as good of a hero if she doesn't have that combo potential, especially if she isn't being put together with something like a Drow, which was also banned out. But I guess Team VGJ is kind of bracing for that, which is why they picked this Dazzle very, very early on. A really good defensive support that can help Luna not get completely destroyed in lane. But I do kind of fear for her safety this game.
Yeah. A partner that we see every now and then with an Ursa is perhaps something like an IO. I mean, is an IO something that we could be seeing here from CDEC, you think, or is there reasons why we wouldn't?
For some reason, I feel like Eastern teams don't prioritize IO picks that much. Western teams would definitely, like, you would see the IO banned at this point for sure. But I guess Eastern teams either don't, like, find the combo too powerful or they just haven't practiced with it. And so I wouldn't be surprised if you don't see it at all.
Dire team pick.
Bat Rider, he's pretty go-to when it comes to that off lane and being as a third pick option. I would assume that CDEC's pretty happy they're able to get that one in there.
Yeah, this is one of the reasons why I kind of fear for Luna, because heroes that can jump on her, like Ursa, who will most likely be getting a Blink Dagger, and Bat Rider, of course, with Lasso, is going to be a menace very early on for this Luna.
Yeah. So now we got the fourth pick for VGJ, so we figure they probably still need something like that 4 position, and then their mid, most likely, what we're looking at right here, so...
Yeah, and I wish I knew these rosters better, that I knew their like signature mid picks and things like that. I mean, I see VGJ has banned out OD and Puck. Puck is actually a hero that I don't see at all, so I'm imagining that someone on CDEC must be a Puck specialist. And Team CDEC banning out Tinker and Storm Spirit. Most teams have some sort of Storm Spirit, I guess, well-versed player on their team, so that ban doesn't really surprise me either.
Yeah. Quap is a hero that's kind of been interesting in this patch. You know, obviously the talent tree and just overall seems like she's been making some appearances coming back. I do notice that they played Quap in this tournament, actually, so I kind of wonder if that could be an option here. As Witch Doctor comes out. Aggressive support's always nice.
I do like the Queen of Pain idea. So what is your opinion of talents? Like, seeing as how you are just now kind of getting exposed to these changes, much as the rest of us. So what's your opinion of the whole talent tree thing?
I come from playing World of Warcraft, so it fits very well, you know.
Okay, okay.
No, I honestly, anything that adds to a little bit more customization, I think it's like it's a give and take. It's great in the sense that, you know, we see more diversity, or ideally see a little bit more diversity, more things to talk about as a caster, and, you know, and so I think from that perspective it's cool, but Dota is already a game with so much information, man. There's so much going on. You are adding now another element on top of that with talent trees. So, again, that's where I go. It's a give and take. It could arguably even almost screw up balancing and make it that much tougher as well. So, I don't know. I'm still a little up and down about it. What about you?
So the balancing aspect, it could be more difficult, but I see it as kind of IceFrog giving himself a backdoor into balancing heroes, in that since these talents come at specific level points, you can kind of control the tempo that you want a hero to, I guess, have peaks and valleys at. So, you know, if you want a hero to really dominate the early game, then you can give like stronger level 10 talents. But if you kind of want them to fall off a little bit, instead of just nerfing their stat gains, now you can start to nerf their, you know, level 15, 20, 25 talents. So I see it as a two-way street in terms of balancing.
Yeah. No, it's again, it's just one of the many changes. Obviously, the sanctuaries or the shrines even has definitely been a lot of debate and discussion in this patch, as amongst you know, overall balance, of course, coming out. So the whole bounty runes. I mean, we could talk about 7.0 for a while here, I'm sure, and you know, thoughts.
It's true.
And
I mean, one hero that definitely benefits from all those specific bounty rune changes and sanctuary changes is Bounty Hunter.
Yep.
His roaming potential has, like, despite him not being, I guess, prioritized as much as he used to be. He used to be like a first pick, first ban kind of thing. But these days, he's finding a niche, and despite not being able to, I guess, get kills in lanes, he can still recover very well with all the bounty runes. And then if a gank goes poorly, he can just hit up a sanctuary.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Bounty Hunter going to be fun to watch, and watch for those courier snipes, as maybe next time was a fan of doing for Ad Phenom, of course, at the Boston Major, and that's just a hero that obviously is good at that, so going to be excited to see if that's potential. But they're thinking about this final ban right here. Again, they still need that mid. Quap was actually banned by VGJ, sure enough, so not going to be seeing her here. A lot of mids already taken out by both teams, actually.
Yeah, it's surprising. Usually I see carry picks being banned out a little bit more, but man, like both ban phases, and DK is just another mid ban.
Team pick.
You know, Sniper, I guess, is still on the board, and definitely every now and then. I feel like he's more of a response to an OD, if anything, but maybe an option that you could be thinking about. TA, Templar Assassin, one that comes to mind perhaps.
10 seconds remaining.
And I believe I think CDEC has a Razor
5
player.
seconds remaining.
Instead, they go for the Mirana.
Dire team pick.
Mirana fits kind of the gank theme here of overall. You can argue that CDEC has with their lineup. So you like that?
I typically am more of a fan of roaming Mirana, which is a very solid 5th pick, but a core Mirana at 5th pick it seems like the team may kind of lose some momentum. Ursa's a great carry, but whenever you have to go to toe-to-toe against a hero that can root like Ember Spirit or stuns like Sand King and Witch Doctor, he can get pretty irritated pretty easily.
Yeah. Here we go, guys. Game number 1 is here. I'm really excited. Again, I'm Breaking CBK, joined by Tsunami here as casters. No, Cyclops is not here, guys. You're gonna have to bear with us today.
I'm sorry.
I know. So sorry, guys. No, but really excited again. This is our first of 2 best-of-3s. The next one, of course, IG versus IG Vitality. So the Invictus Gaming's going at it later on. But we got to figure out our first team that will qualify out of China, and that's going to be one of these two. Now, it's really worth mentioning, too, that we haven't gone over just yet, and I believe it's a case here. They are using a stand-in on the side of VGJ, unless he's just on a different account, but Aggressive, who's normally their carry player with this new roster, it looks like they're using a stand-in. So, that's, you got to wonder how that may affect some things. Now, this is in general a newer team, but still, that's no doubt got to have some kind of effect here.
Newer team, but well-known veterans. It seems to be the trend in China is for these seasoned players to take some new players under their wing. Although recently I heard that Xiao8's team might not be having Xiao8 for much longer, which is a damn shame.
Yeah.
But ROTK and Fenrir and FY, all well-known quantities. And I can't say I know Freeze too much, but it's usually the mid players that seem to be the prodigies these days.
Yeah, especially, from the Chinese. A lot of these mid play, it's like if you're exactly these prodigy players, these young players, because they don't know any better. They just live the yellow life, and they just play so very aggressive. And we got a case here perhaps in Freeze coming out for VGJ. So early warning going on. You do see they got down here in the Radiant jungle, placed a good vision ward, and that's another changes that we're still getting used to with 7.0. A lot of the jungle and how that changes, and some ward placements as a result, and a little bounty rune congestion, but it doesn't look like we're going to be seeing that here. Both teams pretty passive.
Yeah, I always get excited for potential bounty rune fights because it means so much more now. It's a real show of dominance whenever you just step into the other enemy's jungle and you're like, no, you don't have the lane to defend against this. We're gonna take this rune off your hands. Don't you worry about it.
Yeah. So it's the 2-for-2 split there on the bounty runes, but VGJ, they're going to be doing a little bit of an aggressive dual lane down here, by the way. They're sending FY on that Dazzle down here with the Sand King, so going to be going up against an Ursa Rubik. We'll see if things change from there, but you think that Sand King could benefit from this, and this is going to work well for VGJ?
Yeah, I'm surprised that they opted to send the Dazzle down here. Usually you just see Sand King kind of going at it alone with Caustic Finale, which he cleared out that wave mighty fast with Shadow Wave, but it's maybe in the interest of helping Dazzle get some experience as well. Dazzle's a relatively level-dependent support, and so if you already have a good lane dominator like Sand King, why not pair him up with someone who can benefit from the experience?
You see Witch Doctor up here boxing out Bounty Hunter, or simply trying to deal with that harassment, you could say, and doing a pretty good job of that. So as far as other lanes, though, of course, we have our middle matchup, Ember Spirit versus Mirana. Top lane, by the way, June's in a little bit of trouble. On the Bat Rider, out comes the Cask, and we are going to see the beam, and the first blood comes out from Fenrir right there on that Witch Doctor. So Bat Rider is usually a little bit tough to kill, with that Fireflight, but he doesn't have it yet, so explains that.
Yeah, and Bounty Hunter was kind of off trying to get some vision. It's not too big of a deal. June has managed to complete boots, and although he did get killed, he still has managed to hit level 2, and he's not losing very much experience since this creep wave came back after he respawned. So it's possible that he may try to transition into the jungle now that he's hit level 2 if Luna and Witch Doctor continue to give him a hard time, but he'll probably just stay in the lane and hope Bounty Hunter gets a kill or something.
You see Luna, who's going to get this rune? I believe that was Luna right there, so Yeah. Bounty Hunter doing a good job of attempting to steal it, but Luna just sitting on top and spamming that right click. Managed to pick it up, but Bounty Hunter trying to find his place early on. He's going to sit on this haste rune. Looks like he is going to grab it, but not being the greatest effective just yet. Well, what would you like to see Bounty Hunter be doing here? Is there something specific more than what he's doing?
It's very tough these days for a bounty hunter. Most of the picks that I've been seeing, especially from mid, are very, very defensive picks, and Ember Spirit is just high on that list. Bot lane, though, flyby, about to go down on this Ursa.
Yeah, he's trying to go through the trees. One more auto attack should do it, but he can't get the vision on Witch Doctor. We see right here, oh, he finally gets in. There we go, the final auto attack from ROTK on the Sand King to finish off Ursa. So a solid 2-0 start here coming out from the Dire side. As Bounty Hunter does join the bottom lane now, but obviously September just getting here a little bit too late.
Yeah, this is a pretty mean lane. It's not often that you'd see Dazzle played this aggressively. Usually it's completely skip the poison touch and just get a ton of points in Grave and Wave. But with this lane, it's really easy to get an Ursa low. You can see how scared Flyby is to even like come close to the wave, because if he gets chipped down to halfway, he's in death territory from a Burrow Strike.
Yeah. Yeah, got to be really careful about that. But being the 3 versus 2, you would hope for CDEC's sake that at least going to be able to get that farm onto Ursa, of course, and possibly get a kill if they're not careful here on this side. There is no Shallow Grave just yet on Dazzle, of course, only being level 3. So get them low enough, could potentially make a play. And that could be coming up here in the near future, at least some harassment. There we go, diving in with the Earthshock from Ursa. But VGJ, they're a little too aware of what's going on. They probably figure the Bounty Hunter may be nearby. Again, they're smart enough to know that. And they're not going to go over the top right here, so going to be a little bit more passive about it. How about our middle matchup, though? Let's take a closer look at this. 18-0 Ember Spirit versus a 21-7 Mirana, so overall fairly even. As Bat Rider, by the way, on Fenrir now is also in some trouble. Maledict is on June as Luna coming over for the assistance, but too many charges on Witch Doctor. He goes down, but at what cost now? Can Bat Rider actually escape? No, he cannot. It is a 1-for-1. A lot of stuff happening there.
Yeah, Witch Doctor is not able to really stand up against a Bat Rider who has boots. Witch Doctor has boots of his own, but after 4 stacks and Sticky Napalm, that's intimidating to go up against. Now mid lane, Freeze, kind of going in on Shade, but doesn't have any root.
Yeah, got to be careful about that. But yeah, speaking of this middle lane matchup, again, going back to that, they're actually pretty neck and neck right now.
Bot lane.
That was bottom
Ursa.
lane.
Now September. R2K has Burrow Strike in 1 second.
Oh my god, that's 2 kills.
More.
This is going to be a 3rd. Who cares if it's 3 versus 2? They say, we're mans, baby. We're going to go in, and there's a Shallow Grave just in case to help save ROTK. Definitely needed right there, and Burrow Strike away. Wow. What a start.
Try lane.
Yeah, that's something. Missing that first kill, but
Top lane, Maledict. June has a lot of damage on him for this next Maledict tick.
it is a level 2 Maledict, by the way. Now comes the Eclipse, and that will be enough. Somewhat lucky bounce right there, but actually not a whole lot around to absorb it. So actually well played right there by the stand-in, and ends up getting a double kill. Bounty Hunter at least able to pick off the Dazzle, but these exchanges easily going in favor of VGJ. Now up 8-2 to start.
Yeah, I wouldn't have considered VGJ's early game to be that much stronger, but they're really, whatever timings they're hitting are working, because it's not like they're relying on support rotations, whereas CDEC, they had to send the Bounty Hunter down bot, didn't even get the kill, and then Bounty Hunter ended up dying.
Yeah. I've seen a lot of people in chat kind of talking about the idea that they're believing that CDEC's going to win this, even a lot of 2-0s coming out.
Epicenter.
But, oh, wow. Yeah, that is going to take him out. Top lane, I was also watching that. It's just happening nonstop. I'm trying to make a point right here, and they just keep making kills happen. Not that I'm complaining by any means, but
I think it's a momentary lapse. What were you talking about?
Well, I believe CDEC has something to complain about, because they're down 10-2 right now, only 6 minutes into this game. But yeah, as you're getting at, I mean, CDEC arguably maybe even has the better early game team, yet they're just getting outplayed here.
Yeah, oftentimes Ursa makes life hell for melee laners. The thing is that Sand King makes life even more hell for other melee laners, and when you pair him up with the Dazzle, like I'm really impressed with how they pulled off this duo combination in the offlane.
Got Rubik assisting in that middle lane, but Ember Spirit again smart enough to fall back and be fine. So now this means Luna's also getting great farm up here. In fact, switching to the net worth tab now. Yeah, she is leading the way at 3,600 gold net worth at this point. But Sand King, how about that in second at 3,500? 4 out of the 5 all belonging on the side of VGJ, but that's what happens when you're having a lot of kills happen. Are they trying to smoke her in the middle? No, that's just simply Bounty Hunter running in. But that Sentry Ward sees him walk by, and Freeze is like, yeah, I know you're there. You're not going to stand
Yeah, and this Observer Ward right here is going to make sure that Ember is fully aware that Demon's Rubik is prowling around. So all of these support rotations are just falling on deaf ears for CDEC.
Yeah. All right, so you're in CDEC's shoes. You're their coach right now. You're watching them. What are you saying to them? What is it like? And you know, what is your game plan moving forward down 10-2? Is it not to die on Mirana, I'm sure?
Yeah, that would be a good start. Not another route though on VG Freeze. He actually only used one of his Fire Remnants. So recently, the trend with Ember is to build him very magic damage oriented, and that means you spend all 3 of your Remnants trying to get a kill. It's aggressive. And I think VGJ can afford to be aggressive, but the thing is, when you're up 10-2 and things are going peachy, you can just play it safe. Things are going your way.
So here we got Luna. Now, I want to actually bring up this because with 7.0, there's been a lot of things to talk about, especially when it comes to items and just everything, but this top tower goes down. God, it just continues. I'm going to look at the graph real quickly, by the way. Yeah, they're up almost 6,000 net worth and about 3,000 experience here this early on in the game. But
they might find Dazzle down bot though. FY. Oh, September finds him too late. Demons deals the wrong way.
And look at that. He's very heads up that somebody was there. Middle lane. No, never mind. I thought we might have been seeing something there. Going back to the point though, Helm of the Dominator has been an interesting item with a lot of discussion and when we should see it, on who we should see it. Is Luna Helm of the Dominator still relevant, you think?
Yeah, because most of the time Luna didn't really care too much. Oh man, bot lane.
Yeah.
It's gonna be interesting.
I was gonna say they're actually gonna be making a play right here. Wrap around RTK. They find the carry there, and Ursa. Flyby's in trouble. Out comes the heal. Gonna be lifted is Sand King, but Flyby's still in plenty of trouble. Demons is like, see ya, Flyby. You're left to your own. I'm gonna go ahead and let you die right there. Not that he could have done much else at that point. So it continues.
I can't believe that Cask's bounced to all the creeps and not the Rubik. There's no reason why that Rubik shouldn't be able to TP out, standing like 10 units away from an Ursa. But I guess RNG is smiling on CDEC, even though VGJ is not. Yeah, so Luna, Helm of the Dominator, I think is still very, very viable because she wants the health regen aura. That's amazing for her because lifesteal isn't the best way for her to gain HP. You only get, oh man, Purge Creep, mid lane. Root on the Mirana, dead.
This is the semifinals of a Chinese qualifier where there's something like 20 teams in this event. We're down to the 4 teams. And VGJ's acting like this is some nobody team in CDEC right here. And we're going to continue. They're going after Flyby now. Maledict is up. He's going to run away with that enrage, but it's not going to be enough. Takes the Burrow Strike, and now comes the beam. And down he goes. They're just diving onto the Tier 2 tower. June's going to get picked off as well. 3-0 overall. A double kill for FY. We're not done just yet, but maybe we are right here in this middle. So what else is there to say?
Push is going to continue, and FY has Weave up again in 7 seconds if they want to continue it with their bodies as opposed to the creep wave. And Luna has a Helm of the Dominator. She could actually dominate the siege group if she wanted, but I think they're going to get this tower just fine.
So about that question I asked about 2 minutes ago, but this game is just so much action, so it's just hard to really go over these points. But yeah, Helm of the Dominator is enough we see here. So you like it on the core, specifically like a Luna?
Yeah, because especially since she can benefit from the stacking, Moonlight Shadow onto Fenrir, Lasso is up.
And Maledict put out, but Bushdock is like, you know what, I'm going to bait this. This is just fine. Now come the pouncing of the auto attacks from Luna. Lifto on a Sand King, going to be thrown back, but the Shadow Grave is up, and down goes the Ursa. Mirana trying to leap away now, realizing that she's in trouble. Freeze with a double kill. Meanwhile, they are going to lose another one in Sand King. Jade is simply running away, but she loses yet another teammate right there in Bounty Hunter. At least she's fine, I guess, but a triple kill for Freeze. 18-4 lead now. I swear we'll get this point out soon enough.
Well, actually, this is as good of a segue as any. So half the reason why VGJ is able to stay in enemy territory for so long is also because this health regen on Helm of the Dominator is great for 5-manning. Whenever you have freaking 8 HP regen for your supports, that's perfect for them because they're not able to stand in long fights like this, especially when there's a ton of AoE like Fade Bolt and Firefly and Starstorm. They'll get whittled down very quickly. But if you feel like 5-manning, Helm of the Dominator is also a great item for that. And then for Luna specifically, after another kill goes down.
Yeah, I caught that. Really nothing much to it other than just they have the range, the reach of the Blink Dagger, and Bounty Hunter just they're having to be somewhat greedy now because of how far behind they are.
Yeah, and so with Luna specifically, I do like the fact that she can use it for stacking, even though that's not as prioritized in 7.0, but it's still a factor to consider.
10,000 net worth, 7,500 experience. But okay, so yeah, interesting point about that. I mean, you normally, I feel like the attack speed's, you know, kind of been the biggest thing discussed about it, but you're really focusing on that HP regen, and yeah, if you're grouping up and doing a lot of fighting, then that could most certainly be helpful.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's one of the, like, the first 7.0 game I played, I saw a Skywrath build helm, and I still hadn't fully processed the changelog yet, and I was like, what the hell is this guy doing?
Noob?
And then he proceeded to just stick with his team, and it turned out to be an amazing support item, because if you don't want to waste the slot on your carry, you can just dominate some dome creep like a Ogre Frostmage for the 8 armor, and it's great. Or you can just dominate easy creeps for vision. So it's a very well-rounded item now. Blink, Throw Strike onto Bounty Hunter.
Yeah, gonna catch him, gets lifted up, but now the dust comes out. Bounty Hunter level 5, just simply trying to run. The Death Ward's like, you ain't going anywhere. Ember Spirit now, Jason Sleight of Fist activated, catches a couple Bat Riders, specifically the one in a lot of trouble right here. Ember Spirit forward, not gonna be enough damage for the kill just yet, but they do pick off Demons behind on Rubik, and despite hiding in the cliff right there, it's not enough to save the Bat Riders. So CDEC, you know, I'm not saying they should be conceding here, you know, giving up by any means, but man, when is enough as we have the 4-22, by the way? So close right
we're
here.
We're supposed to use this first game as a way to feel each other out, and I feel like we barely even heard each other talk because it's a freaking 11,000 net worth difference at 13 minutes in. This is obscene. A Burrow Strike on Mirana. See the trees, weave for vision.
They're just all running after her, man, and Shade is just running for her life right here. I don't know if they're gonna be able to catch her, actually. Oh, they don't see her, actually. They lack of vision. Now they definitely do. So the misplay a little bit by OTK right there as far as blinking into the wrong spot, but the cast comes out. Oh, the missed Burrow Strike, another misplay. And actually, Shade, he has a TP about 35 seconds. So do they want to stick around to actually kill him as a point? Yeah, they'll say screw it. Let him be.
Yeah, Shade had unfortunately backpacked that TP. It would probably be off cooldown now if it wasn't backpacked, but I think he needs whatever other items in his active inventory as possible to stay alive, which he does survive that gank, but he's still miles away from that Aghanim's.
Yeah. All right, Tsunami, I take you back. Things are even worse now, but hey, you're the coach of CDEC. You're getting paid all this money to coach up this team and have them in comebacks like this. Well, what are you telling this team right now?
It's a good question. Let's see. Normally, I would say get a lot of farm on your carry, but this is my issue with their original draft, is that it's kind of early to mid-game. Ursa's not the best late-game carry, and he's your only ticket back into the game, but as an Ursa with this much net worth down, I don't even know what you really build, because he can't go for a Blink Dagger anymore. The time for Blink Dagger Ursa has long passed. As in the mid lane, GJ finds Bounty Hunter again.
It's, you know, he can't be anywhere ever, it feels like. These sentries are all over the place, and obviously that's just VGJ being on top.
And 1 second for this Bat Rider who lassoed up Ember.
Oh, they're going to go to maybe save him if anything? No? Okay. Well, there you go. There's positive for CDEC. A little bit of bounty there. And they lose the tower, though.
Okay. Well, maybe a Blink Dagger and Bat Rider can help make a difference, which he's about still 1k gold away. Opted for the drums first, which I do not blame him in the slightest for going for. But my concern is still the carry. And then the other thing that I would usually rely on if I were a coach is that, oh, okay, you have a Bounty Hunter. Bounty Hunter is always a ticket back into the game. Bounty Hunter is a ticket into the game when the enemy supports aren't massively ahead in net worth and have the money for sentry wards every which way. You said this Bounty Hunter can't go anywhere, and he's finding that out the hard way each and every time.
Yeah. What is he looking at? 6 deaths already. I guess it's not the craziest amount, but you know, only 16 minutes in, 6 deaths. Falling behind, but he does have track. Oh my god, he's gonna be found again. How are they finding him? This is ridiculous. I mean, now he's just like, okay, are you kidding me? You guys are map hacking, obviously. And they just see him over to the trees, and they get the tower killed on top of that. So that is now all outer towers destroyed. And here we go into the base, it looks like, as the weave is put up.
So much confidence that they're not even bothering to go for Roche or Aegis or anything like that. They could also go for Shrines, but you know, why bother when you can get some tier 3 damage?
Yeah.
If they get continually... Okay, I guess Weave is going to wear out. Might as well go for some free money now.
Yeah, they will fall back from there and say, yeah, let's get the shrines. You know, this is another thing that, you know, it's worth bringing up while we're seeing it in action right here. You know, how high priority should it be to kill these shrines after you take out all the tier 2s? And they pretty much go right away despite a little bit of damage on tier 3, but you think it's pretty high priority, though, to get those killed ASAP?
Definitely, especially in this situation when they're kind of angling around Roche, that top shrine can make a big impact. You can see the bottom shrine isn't nearly as big of a deal. They're not all motioning towards it. I know that Ember has TP to the bot lane, but they'll probably try to get good map control around Roche. So I'd say the top shrine is always a really big priority. The bottom shrine, if you happen to come in the vicinity, go for it.
Yeah. Yeah, I've also seen this a bit too. Yeah, using that Helm of the Dominator, you pick up that Alpha Wolf and you basically just put it on follow with you. In this case on the Luna, and that just enhances your damage by so much more, really. I mean, she's hitting for 246 at 17, nearly 18 minutes into the game. Sure, she has a Manta style, but, you know, that shouldn't equal that 246 damage, but Alpha Wolf is like, here you go, buddy. Gonna help you out right here. Yeah. Here's Roshan.
It looks like CDEC wants to contest it. They're smoked up.
Desperate play here. I mean, I figure it's like they know they can't just give this up freely, and they got to try something, but they're seen, and all of a sudden that's going to be a lost cause.
They're not even actually fully seen. Only the bounty hunter is. They're still smoked up. Yeah. Flyby has a blink dagger on this Ursa, but he knows he'd be blinking into his death if he went.
Yeah. Not really worth suiciding yourself for, so gonna have to accept what happened right there. So yeah, there's the Aegis now on the stand-in playing that Luna, and I gotta say he's doing just fine. Whoever that may be, I think he's performed just fine enough for VGJ right here. But got Blink Dagger, Force Staff, and I would guess maybe even an Ags in the works for Sand King already. This is an offlane Sand King, and at times was 2 versus 3 down there. And ROTK though, I guess I wouldn't expect anything less here.
It's true, although some big pickups. Shade has finished Zaghanim's on the Mirana. So Blink Dagger also completed for the Bat Rider.
So nice damage, and so there's a chance right here, perhaps the last stand. Oh, the Burrow's not going to miss actually and Flyby. Here comes the Bat Rider last. Oh, we got the illusion. No, that's the wrong one. Eclipse comes out, and down goes Bat Rider. He does not have a buyback now. Now Luna is in a little bit of trouble, but the Shallow Grave is up, and that should be enough to keep him alive using those wand charges, and Dazzle will throw out some heals to assist further. And there's the Urn heal on top of that. So yeah, that's one of those embarrassing moments that you'd like to take back if you're Bat Rider there. Oh, Flyby jumps in though. Out comes Murata as well with that new axe that he picked up recently, and going to be doing some damage. Is that Rubik right there with the Eclipse? But they fell back, and they're going to be fine as a result. Now Flyby, he will get taken out. Look at this Luna just standing here again. He has an Aegis, so even if he dies, he knows he's good to go. I think we could be seeing a possible big final game-ending push right here.
Demons is getting mighty low, but he's surviving thanks to his shrine. Unfortunately, the Ursa is dead, and if the Ursa is dead, that means the damage is dead. Mirana is still around, though she has to regen in the tower, and by the time she comes back out, her Rex is gone.
Yeah. And they will fall back, so why not kind of reset right here, get some more resources, take away their resources in the jungle, and kind of regroup, upgrade your items, and then go back in. But yeah, you know, what else is there to say about CDEC other than, you know, they're slowly progressing with some items. You mentioned the Axe on Mirana. He is the top farmer in his team by far, actually. But is that going to be enough? It really comes back to the Ursa. But you even said from the beginning, it's just he's not necessarily in the easiest spot to recover right here.
Yeah, it almost feels like they were planning on maybe their early game not going so well, which is why they drafted this bounty hunter. Because otherwise, I don't really know why you would pick 2 non-late game cores like Mirana and Ursa, unless you thought that, oh, okay, we'll get a lot of track kills early on, and it'll be like Alchemist style, where we just get so many items on our cores that we can just out-carry them based purely on like our economic advantage.
Yeah. Seeing some more item pickups. Hand of Midas on Witch Doctor. We got Ember Spirit. Actually, the Lincolns have to finish. The Boots of Travel, of course. Another 2,000 gold saved up. So, again, just more progress being made. You know, something we haven't touched on just yet, but again, it's just all the action, understandable. But speaking of those talent trees, always kind of fun to kind of go through and see who's getting what. So Sand King, we'll start on this Dire side. 5 armor choice on him. 20 XP gain on Witch Doctor. We got Ember Spirit, the spell amplification and the stats. Dazzle with the intelligence, and Luna with a 15 damage and the 150 health. Any of those going to stand out to you, or are they all pretty straightforward, you think?
Most of them are pretty typical. The main thing is just this may be the very first time that I've seen a magic damage Ember Spirit actually win, which, granted, I can't really say this game is too much a product of him, which I don't want to take away from Freeze's performance. He's been doing just fine. And, I mean, the Mirana clearly has not been able to get much after laning against him, but he has not really been the game changer. It's really what everyone expects from the supports of VGJ, from the Fenrir, FY, ROTK trio. It was this amazing teamwork coming out early game and mid game that's really helped the cores like be on autopilot for the most part.
Yeah. There goes the Glaives bouncing around, of course, once again, and put a good damage into the base tower. Already about a half life, so CDEC another case of somewhat of a last stand right here. They're being passive about it, but you know they inevitably have to jump in. We saw last fight. I mean, Demons was able to take that Eclipse, but it really just didn't do a whole lot of damage. Obviously, VGJ did a good job of responding to it. They spread out, they fell back as it was activated, and then they kind of regrouped, went back in. But now you have a Luna with a BKB. So, yeah, that's life just got even that much harder here if you're CDEC, unfortunately. So, there we go. They go to the base. You figure you got to do something, but what is the question?
Yeah, this is such a problem for Bad Rider. He wants to blink, but he has to stand way the hell away to not get hit by Glaives. Blinking by Ursa.
There we go. The arrow hit the illusion, I believe. Flyby, he does dump in, but oh, the nice Pearl Strike catches Bad Rider as he lassos the Luna, and it's going to stop immediately. And now Bad Rider will fall to the Death Ward. Down goes Flyby, and good games are called for CDEC right there. VGJ just way too strong, and you talk about a dominating performance, man, to kick it off. I mean, they just got outclassed, outplayed, whatever you want to say. It's just across the board. Everything worked for VGJ.
Yeah, that was textbook. I guess I could maybe narrow it down to the draft, but like going into it, I didn't like very much favor one team or the other. I just saw some cracks in CDEC, and I guess VGJ just blew those cracks wide open and just completely obliterated them this game.
Yeah, I mean, drafting-wise, do you feel like there were any faults, really? Sure, hindsight now, but was there any faults from CDEC, or is it just, you know, VGJ just dominating the early game as they maybe shouldn't have and kind of snowballed from there?
Yeah,